guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. My name is Crystal and today we are going to rank every single highlighter I own from worst to best. You guys seem to really like my eyeshadow palette collection when I ranked that from worst to best, so I thought I would do the same for my highlighters because that seems to be the next biggest area that I spend a lot of my hard-earned cash. So I mean, I love highlighters. I think they really do make a difference in terms of your makeup and its presentation, so I love them. So I'm going to do that today for you guys. If you like the look that I currently have on my eyes, it is a purple glam look. I will have the tutorial for that either linked in the description box below or it will be my next video that is uploaded, so keep an eye out for that. So before we jump into the video, do not forget to subscribe to my channel before you leave and turn on your post notification bell so you don't miss any of the new videos that are going to be coming up over the next couple of weeks. And also go and check me out over on my Instagram. I will have my handles on the screen for you guys to go and check me out over there. And without further ado, let's just get straight into the video. So the first highlighter that I would have to rank as the worst highlighter in my collection, it's no shade to the brand itself, it's just preference. I don't particularly like loose highlighters. They are messy and I just don't appreciate them at all. Like, they're good for the body but not for the face. So the first one that I would like to mention is my Anastasia loose highlighters. This one is in So Hollywood and this one is in Snowflake. These are so glittery. The packaging on these are stunning. Look at that, like they're just so beautiful. So I mean, they're really nice to look at in terms of the packaging, but I mean the product itself is really average. So it's really chunky, it doesn't blend well. This one is basically white and this one is basically yellow, and my kind of perfect highlight is a mix of the two. I have tried mixing them together, but they're just so, like, it's gonna sound weird, but they're probably too bright. Like, they're just not really for the face. So I don't like these as much as I like my other loose highlighters and basically my other highlighters in general. So that one is on the bottom. The next highlighter that is probably closer to the bottom in terms of my ranking is the Stila Heaven Hues highlighter in Kitten. Now I know that this one has won a lot of awards. It is that putty kind of feeling and then it turns to like a powder when you put it on your face. Sorry if I just blinded you, but I mean, I just don't really dig the shade. I mean, Kitten is really popular by Stila and I totally get that. I love their liquid eyeshadows in the shade Kitten. I think that that's beautiful for every day. I just don't think that this particular highlighter is that great, to be perfectly honest. I mean, I do like Stila. I'm wearing one of their liquid lips today underneath the Fenty lip gloss in the shade Fussy. But I mean, I just don't really reach for this. I don't think it's anything to do with the shade or anything like that. It's just, I don't like the puttiness and it doesn't pick up on a brush, so you have to use your finger, and sometimes it can make the foundation that's underneath move around. And yeah, I just don't really appreciate it that much, so that's why it's probably ranked a little bit lower in my collection. The next one is the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Highlighting Powder. This is in the shade Precious Petals. I definitely love this formula. I think it's a really nice formula for the price. The problem with this one is that the color of this is a little bit too deep for me. Even when I'm fake tanned, it's just a little bit too deep. So I can use this as an eyeshadow and I do hold on to it because it is one of my few drugstore highlighters that I have, and I do like to have an array of highlighters, high-end and drugstore. And I got this when I was in America, so it's kind of like a reminder to me of my trip when I went to America, and because I had so much fun. But I just don't really reach for this. I have other highlighters that I reach for over this, and that's why it's a little bit lower in my rankings. So the next highlighter in my rankings is from Makeup Revolution. This is their highlighter Reloaded in the shade Just My Type. This is more my kind of shade. I don't reach for this enough. I do really like the shade. I mean, look at that. For a drugstore highlighter, the pigmentation on that is insane. So I mean, I'm not even really trying to catch the light with that. That's just picking up nicely. I just don't use this enough. I mean, I've got quite a few highlighters. I should be reaching for this a bit more. If I do a full face of just drugstore makeup, this would definitely be the highlighter that I would go for. Makeup Revolution is like so underrated in Australia. I feel like people really need to get on the back of Makeup Revolution because the price of it versus what you get is pretty amazing. So I will most definitely be investing more in those. It's just that I don't reach for it. So if there's nothing wrong with the product at all, that's just why it's a little bit lower in my rankings. Personally, it's just my laziness. So the next highlighter is a liquid highlighter. This is the Cover FX Custom Enhancer Drops. This is in the shade Moonlight. I do like this, but I don't like it on its own. It is super, super pigmented. It is a dropper applicator, if you guys can see that. So it is a dropper. It is literally so pigmented. You've got to be super careful with this. I actually don't really use this as a highlighter on its own. I like to mix it with my foundation to give myself a more luminous glow from a full face perspective rather than just a targeted highlighter on the tops of your cheekbones and on your nose. I do really like this. It's just that if you go heavy handed, you kind of look like the Tin Man. So yeah, it's just a bit lower in my rankings because it's not something I can just grab and go and then just put on my face and just run out the door. It does require a little bit more focus and work in order to get it to look the best it possibly can. And that's why it's a bit lower in my rankings. So the next one is the Anastasia Liquid Glow. This is in the shade Perla. I really, really like this for my body, but for my face, I just feel like it breaks up my foundation. So I'll pop it on the top of my cheekbones and I'll pop it on my nose. And it's really weird. It's like, it looks good for about 10 minutes, but then it breaks up and it removes the foundation that's underneath. And then when you want to use a powder over the top, so say for example, I wanted to use the Makeup Revolution powder over the top of the Perla, which is from Anastasia, it'll literally take away the foundation and it won't look like it's covered. It'll just look bare. It's really hard to explain, but it doesn't look nice at all, and that's why this is a little bit lower on my rankings. I do love it for my body though, for my décolletage area, which I don't really show much of that on my channel anyway, but for my décolletage I just think it looks stunning. Maybe I should be applying it with a beauty blender and not my fingers or a brush. So if you do have this, let me know, because I'd be keen to know how to use it and get the best out of the product itself. So that's why that one's ranked kind of in the lower half of my highlighters. And then I also have the Kylie Jenner Santorini Loose Highlighter. This is like pretty insane again in terms of what it is. It's less glittery than other loose highlighters, like those ones that I already mentioned, the Anastasia ones. The shade of this is more up my alley. It's a champagne-y gold shade. This is like a permanent line by Kylie. And quite frankly, I think this is the only thing from Kylie that I actually like. So that's why that one's sitting there in the collection. I also have a few more loose highlighters. These are two by Inglot. They're the Sparkling Dust Face, Eyes and Body Illuminators. So I have this in the shade 1 and in the shade 7. These are so glittery. They don't look too glittery in the pots, and I think that's what made it quite deceptive, but it's quite chunky, and that's why I think I do prefer the Kylie Jenner version of it, because it's so finely milled. It's just that these loose highlighters, they had a moment in 2019 and I got totally sucked into that moment, and it just doesn't work for me. You'll see as we get to the higher end of my collection, which is kind of, we're starting to get into that now. But I just want a powder, a pressed powder, grab and go. I know it's gonna be reliable and I can just run out the door. So next up I have my Laura Geller Gilded Honey. This has been around forever. It's a beautiful golden shade. If I can get it open. Just looks like this. I mean, I'm sure you have seen it. Everyone's seen it. It's basically a staple. This is my new Project Pan highlighter. I'm really enjoying it so far. I haven't got it on today. I have another one on today, which I will tell you about. But I mean, I love this one. It's super compact, easy to travel with, and it's super reliable every single time you use it. So that one is ranked sort of towards the middle of my collection, but I do very much enjoy it, and it's competing with my favorites now. So these ones are a little bit harder to budge in terms of my favorites, so stay tuned. So the next highlighter is the Bobbi Brown Shimmer Brick in the shade Beige. I've had this forever as well. I mean, this is another one of those staple products that people know about. It was, these were pretty expensive actually, and they were really popular for a while there. I got this because Jaclyn Hill talked about it like, I don't know, like 4 years ago maybe. I mean, I had a phase where I just loved Jaclyn Hill everything that she said was Bible, and I was all about it. So got this because of her, and it's a beautiful champagne sort of shade, perfect for my skin tone. I think I have like 6 highlighters in this shade, but I mean, you can never have too many. So I love this one, and you can use them individually as eyeshadows as well if you really want to, like each individual strip. So I see like multiple purposes for this particular highlighter, but I love it, and I don't know, I couldn't imagine my collection without it. The next one is the MAC Soft and Gentle. This is like my baby. I have had this forever. I still continue to use this. I've used this in one of my recent videos. I think it was one of my recent tutorials actually. It was my Fox Eye tutorial. I'm pretty sure I used this. I mean, it's mine. I'm using it on my skin. It is 100% expired. I'm not going to pretend like it isn't. I mean, it's in the old packaging and everything, but this is my baby. This is like my gateway into makeup. This particular highlighter, Soft and Gentle, was the beginning for me, as was NARS Laguna. I basically got these two together, and that is what got me into the makeup world. That's what's got me to where I am today. So I owe so much to this particular highlighter, and literally there is so much product in here. I don't think I could ever get through this. So I mean, I use this only on myself. So this never comes with me to see clients. It's only ever used on myself. I love it, and I mean, I can't imagine my life without it. Next up is another MAC product. This is Double Gleam by MAC. I believe this is the Extra Dimension Skin Finish formula. I love this. I mean, again, it's that champagne-y gold shade. Love this sort of stuff. I'm an absolute sucker for it. So I mean, more the better. So this one is definitely ranked up high. This is my 4th favorite highlighter from what I'm going to show you. It's super reliable. I know that this is going to perform on me every single day whenever I use it. You get so much product in this. You get literally 9 grams of product. That is such a big highlighter. I mean, I really do need to stop purchasing makeup. I've got so much of it, and I just keep buying it, and I have like 6 highlighters in the same shade. So I think I might need to go on a no buy. But I love that particular highlighter, and that is why it's in my top 4. The next highlighter is actually from a palette. This is from the Filmstar Bronze and Glow palette from Charlotte Tilbury. This is pricey, but the highlighter in here is so beautiful. I use this on brides. I think it's stunning. The bronzer is also stunning. It doesn't seem like it's going to be dark enough, but this highlighter can really, really go the distance. Like, you can do a real wet look kind of makeup look with this particular highlighter, and the bronzer goes with it perfectly as well. So this is so beautiful. I highly recommend it. The packaging on this is stunning. It's very weighted. There's a lot to it. There's literally 16 grams of product in here, so you've got 2 really, really good sized pans product in it, which is going to last you for ages. So I love that. Super reliable. Literally, if I need my bronzer and highlighter and I want to touch up through the day, I'll take this. Swear by it, it's beautiful. So my second favorite highlighter in my ranking video is, you guessed it, my Becca Opal. Again, this is one of those things that I got really, really excited about with my makeup journey. I don't have Champagne Pop because I fell so in love with Opal that I never really felt the need to purchase Champagne Pop, because Opal is just kind of it for me. So I love this. It's a beautiful, again, champagne-y gold look. I think it's so stunning. It lasts forever. This is my second one of this. I accidentally shattered my first one. I hit significant pan on it, but then I moved my makeup bag around and I shattered it, much like what happened to my Tarte Exposed highlighter. So real shame, but I mean, I'm so glad to have it back in my collection. It's incredible, and I actually got that cheaper from Catch of the Day. So if you're interested in this highlighter, I'm pretty sure I got it for about $30, which is like less than half price. Go and check it out on Catch of the Day and all of the makeup that's on there, because you can get an absolute steal on some really, really good products. Now we're going to talk about my favorite highlighter in my ranking video. This is number 1 by far. I'm obsessed with it, and again, it is in a palette, but it is the shade Cookie by Benefit. I've currently got this in my Cheek Leaders Mini Bronze Squad palette. You can't get this anymore, but you can get the pans individually, and Cookie is stunning. People have talked about Cookie for ages, and it's what I have on my cheeks today. Like, it's such a beautiful glow for every day, and you can amp this up to a point where it's absolutely glowing, like to the sun, to the moon, to the stars. Like, you can make this really stand out. So that is by far my number one, and I mean, ride or die. If I could have one highlighter out of all of these, like every single one, I would give them all up just to have Cookie as my highlighter. So if you've made it this far into my video, thank you so much for sticking around. I really appreciate you guys staying and watching my ranking video. So do not forget to subscribe before you leave, and make sure you go and check me out on Instagram as well. I'll put my handles on the screen again for you guys to go and check me out. And thank you so much again, and I will see you guys in my next video. Thanks guys, bye.